What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Plus Added Time here on Project Dits. As always, my name is Nathan. Alongside me, of course, is my Valentine. It is Darragh. Hello, Darragh.
I'm all right. That's
You
the best
doing
way
okay?
to put it.
Yeah, you
Grand.
looking forward to Valentine's Day?
Oh, so much. I've got so much prepared. I'm gonna leave the house.
Are you?
Nope, not till mid-April apparently.
You're gonna sit down and watch West Brom versus Man United.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Not sure if I can swing that on Valentine's Day. I'm not sure how I can explain that to the other half. I'm like, look, let's be really romantic. Let's watch United win a game.
Are you able to go like out for food, or is that still a no over there?
No, we're not going to be doing.
No.
We're not going to be doing much. We just went
Okay.
shopping and decided we're just going to cook ourselves like a 3-course meal.
There you go. There's something.
Yeah, so we thought that might be something nice to do. So we've got all our ingredients ready. We're going to make our own Chinese.
Ooh, very fancy. What's going on there?
Well, we've got some tofu, got some noodles, got all sorts of veg. We're going to make like a chow mein, like a ricey dish, a bit of a curry. We've got like the pastry you used to make spring rolls.
Ooh,
We're
okay.
gonna make our own spring rolls and stuff.
This is risky. I would never make it Chinese. Always get it from source. Not China, just a Chinese restaurant.
Get it from stores.
When I say get it from source.
Just have it imported. Well, nowhere's open. Like the takeaways are obviously all open, but we've kind of rinsed them during lockdown, so it doesn't
Yeah.
feel very special.
Not at all. No. I don't know. Did you have the storm that came from? I think it was Scandinavia. It's obviously I'm in the west of Ireland, so it's just hit here now. So we're kind of not snowed in essentially, but I'm looking out at the snow and I don't want to go out in it because it looks very cold.
We did have a little bit, so it wasn't great.
Yeah.
A bit of snow. Dog was furious. My dog fucking hates snow. Like you see all these
with them.
videos of people's dogs just going nuts, like jumping in it, rolling around. He just like looks at you like, really?
Very similar to the way I look at my mother when she asked me to go out to do the shopping. Anyways, as you can tell, we're stalling because I don't think we've either had a good week in the football department, have we, Nathan?
Mixed bag. I think our week was better than yours, but we did have 2 games to play.
Yeah.
And one of them was. Should I go first on United update? I think we usually do Liverpool first, but should we save the hilarity until last?
The longer I can go without talking about it, I think the better for my mental health.
Well, on the other side of Merseyside, obviously you got Carlo Ancelotti managed Everton side, who we got to face, and for first half of that, cruise control, 2 up, nice as anything. They didn't really create much. I can't even remember who scored for United. Not gonna lie.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna presume Scott McTominay scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a
right.
safe bet at the minute.
Yeah.
I don't think Bruno scored. Oh, who cares? Anyway, second half, and it just all went a bit tits up. David De Gea had a nightmare. A simple shot from I can't remember who's. It's been a while, guys. But he just parried it to Decore. And then everyone's going, "Oh, United can't defend it." It's like, well, we didn't need to defend that. Our goalie just need to catch the ball.
Yeah.
But he said palmed it to Decore, and then they fired back again through James Rodriguez to equalise. It was a good goal from him, but again, David De Gea, you got to question it.
It's got to be saving it for me as well. Yeah.
He should have done, but then we go 3-2 up. That was McSauce. I think it was Luke Shaw over to McSauce. And it looks fine. On comes Tanzebe, who throws his toys out the pram immediately to get yellow carded, gives away a free kick in a good position.
This is going to end well.
Yeah, and it did for them. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, easy goal for him. People have been questioning De Gea on that one as well, but
I'll just to get my voice heard here. What did you make of Harry Maguire's defending from the set piece?
It was poor. It was very poor. Like, they were trying to play the offside, and he, despite being captain, wasn't on the same page as everyone else. But I think it's just kind of the comedy of errors, really. Not to go with Shakespeare on everyone, but it's just everyone, and it starts with Tanzebe giving away a stupid thing. He's been brought on just to see the game out, like, and you just stupid tackles. Harry Maguire then isn't on the same page as everyone. David De Gea arguably wasn't in the right position, and it's just kind of typical. Whereas it used to be kind of United are the squad just wasn't good enough. This is just individual errors costing us again, and we go away when we should have been cruising towards another 3 points, especially after the first half. We played very well. We end up only getting one, and it's not good enough, is it?
It's another game at home, isn't it?
It is. There's something about being at home where we just can't defend. When we go away, we just seem to batter people to one side most of the time.
Yeah.
And but when we're at home, it's like, I don't know whether there's nerves, the expectation of being at Old Trafford or something like that. But then again, there's no fans there, so you can't really argue that point. Whereas if we were all in the stands screaming our heads off, you kind of get it. But I don't know what it is. The balance is slightly off. Like, we look so defensively solid when we have Maguire and Bailly, and much like you've got your problems with Matip, it's the same for us. He's out again, and I don't think he's available this weekend. He didn't play in the FA Cup either.
Actually, speaking of players that aren't available for this weekend, did you hear the news has come in the last, I think, hour? Fabinho is out for the Leicester game.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
It's incredible.
I'll get the FA Cup out of the way. It was super boring. Scott McTominay scored. Over to Liverpool. I'm
Brilliant.
not sure, outside of playing City or us, Leicester has to be the next worst for who you want to play when you've got little to no defenders.
Yep.
The pace of Maddison is on absolute form of his life at the minute, and Vardy's back.
My only saving grace is that the last two times we've played them off the park. I remember especially the game last season. It was Stephen's Day just after Christmas. Went away to Leicester, just back from Qatar about 2 or 3 days before, and just played them off the park. And earlier this season, I think it was one of the first games we did on one of these shows, where I said I've got full faith in Liverpool because Brendan Rodgers can't beat Liverpool. And even though I was pretty confident going into the Man City game, I still can't help but be confident going into this, even without Fabinho.
So who outside of you got the kids, you got the new guys as well. So you got Ben Davis, you got Kabak is clear to play now, isn't he? Not that anyone told Klopp.
Yeah,
as per his press conference the other day.
Yeah,
which was funny. And before we get into the laughs of it all, I do think on behalf of everyone at Dits, we do want to send our best wishes to Klopp. Obviously, he's not had the best week for numerous reasons. But before we get into the football, just want to send our love out to him as well,
and his family.
And his family as well. You're absolutely right. But you were crap against City, though, weren't you?
But anyways, Klopp got the selection wrong, didn't he? Yeah. No, it was the easy thing to do is to just purely blame Alisson, which I think would be fair enough. He was definitely responsible for the second and third goal, and he made Jamie Carragher turn into some opera singer. It was beautiful. And even the fourth goal, I suppose, is kind of your preference and where you stand on a quality of goalkeeper. For Phil Foden's goal at the end, I personally expect Alisson Becker to save that all day, every day. It was sort of straight at him. It was hit with a lot of power, though, and I imagine once you've conceded the second, never mind the third, that you're fully responsible for, your head's just gone, and you just want to be anywhere but the pitch. But at the same time, he's been getting a lot of criticism, especially on social media, as it seems everyone does these days. And people will immediately forget that over the last month, when we haven't been scoring and been drawn games consistently, the only reason we've been drawn them is because he's been saving us pretty much week in, week out. And he's probably been the most consistent player with Fabinho this season, if being perfectly honest. It's
very much the story of we can kind of overlap this with when you look at United and David De Gea from about 2014 to about 2018. I know in the last couple of seasons he's been heavily questioned, but when we obviously don't have the injuries that you've got now, we just couldn't defend for love nor money. But he was always there to step up, and I think Alisson, he was definitely at fault for some of the goals, and his head went. But he also wasn't helped by anyone in front of him.
No, it was so bad. Also, the centre back partnership. Klopp is insisting on starting Jordan Henderson due to his organisational ability. And that's all well and good because we know Jordan Henderson is a leader. You only need to see that clip of Atalanta away when he's just shouting at every player so they know what they're doing. But much like Fabinho, he's not a centre back, and it was evident when Sterling was just running at Fabinho and Henderson. They just have absolutely no idea what to do. You can organise all you want, but when it comes to defensive ability, tackling, interceptions, they don't have it. And same with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't know what was going on. He hasn't been amazing this season, but he seemed to turn a bit of a new page in the last few weeks. But every time Sterling ran at him, just had him on toast. Shades back to Marcus Rashford and Wilfred Zaha in early 2018. It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't your best day. And I think the question to ask, really, in your opinion, does Klopp have to start one of these newbies this weekend if they're available? Ben Davies has been on the bench. I think he was on the bench against City.
He was, yeah.
Does he have to look at that and say, right, we've got Leicester, although Leicester at the minute aren't in the same ballpark as how well City have been playing, but you still got the pure quality of Jamie Vardy, and if he's running at you, if he's running at Fabinho, who's not going to be on the pitch, and Jordan Henderson, do you think you need actual centre-halves in there, even if it is being thrown in the deep end a bit?
Yes. Next question.
It's going to be a bit of like, welcome to the Premier League, guys. It's James Maddison and Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, no, for the City game, I personally wanted to see Kabak and Fabinho together. Kabak is said to be this Dejan Lovren signing, which sounds great, doesn't it? He's said to be good in the air. He's said to be, an intelligent footballer, whereas Ben Davies he's a bit of Preston. He was at Preston for a while, and he's played in all divisions of English football, going down to the conference. So he has experience in, I suppose, upping up his game. And he has the pace that a Kabak apparently doesn't have, because he started as a left back. So he has good recovery pace, decent size, and he's supposed to be really good at playing the ball out from the back. Obviously, this is all from what I've heard. I haven't seen him play. I haven't seen many players down to Klopp this season. It seems to be the same 11 every week.
It is a big ask, though, when you're playing against Leicester, former Premier League champions in recent memory, and quite a lot of that squad were the champions. So
yeah,
there's not really going to be a right or wrong answer until the game's over, and then we can use the power of hindsight. But surely you got to put Jordan Henderson, maybe Jordan Henderson in midfield ahead of Kabak and Davies, or however you say his name.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, Nathan. I think
You sound stressed.
I think no matter what, Jordan Henderson is going to start at centre back, especially with Fabinho out. I was interested to see if he would drop in one of the centre backs with Fabinho and Henderson both fit. But now with Fabinho gone, he has absolutely no choice. So that means one of them's definitely starting, and Kabak has played at a higher level. He's played in the Bundesliga, albeit not great this season. But he's said to be a very good player from some of his performances from last season. Whereas Ben Davies has been a championship player at the highest of his ability up until now. And Ben Davies is, I think, 25 and Kabak's only 20. So personally, I'd like to see Kabak start.
Do you not go for a back five and play Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson as wing backs, and chuck Davies, Henderson in there to kind of keep their heads a bit cooler, and Kabak on the other side of him?
Well, you see, that makes That makes a lot of sense, but no, Jurgen Klopp likes a 4-3-3 and nothing else under no circumstances.
You
That
think
is
it's because he can't do the maths to add it up to 10?
it. He's like, no, that gives us 12 players. We can't do that. How can you play 5 at the back? Yeah, but it's not just the defense as well. In the midfield, from everyone's favorite player, Thiago, he definitely lost the midfield battle versus Ilkay Gundogan, despite trying to end Gundogan's night about 2 seconds into the match. And maybe the yellow card affected him somewhat for the rest of the match, but just don't be just chopping down players for no reason at the start of the game. But
there was a brief second where I thought, oh shit, he's off. Like it was a little bit like it was when you actually watch the tackle back, it's nowhere near a red card. But when he first did it, when you're watching it live, you're like, oh my god, he's gone. Like immediately.
We've seen people get sent off for much less this week alone, Nathan.
Oh god, yes.
Alluding to something there, I'm sure we'll discuss later. But for me, Curtis Jones was, well, Liverpool's star of the show anyways. I think City just miles better than we were. Just everything about them, despite not having a recognised striker on the pitch, just tore us to shreds in the attacking third. But Curtis Jones, I thought, was very good. And I think it really showed that he was subbed off at 1-1. And then within 15 minutes of him coming off the pitch, we were 4-1 down. Milner and Shaqiri coming on didn't really introduce Anthony to the game for me at all. If Anthony just made it a bit slower. And for me, the title was done after Burnley. So this is the dirt being shoveled onto the already nailed coffin. That's what that was. For the rest of the season, I just want to see comfortable qualification for the Champions League next season and just go all out in the Champions League. That's it. I don't care if we finish second or fourth. I just want to do well in the Champions League.
Yeah, it's kind of the same for us, really. When we talk about the title race now, like City are 5 points ahead of us with a game in hand. So, and the way they're playing, you're not going to doubt them getting 3 points in the game in hand. They do actually have 2 games this week as well, so they will be level on games afterwards. But it's going to take something. The way City are playing, you can't see them having another blip. Like the start of the season, actually, people forget already because of how crazy everything's been. But they started the season pretty poorly. And so did we.
Yeah.
So,
well, yes. You definitely did.
Yeah, and now, like, for us as well, it's just, from the position we're in now, I wouldn't want to see us coming anywhere beneath third. Like, at all. So I think fourth would be pretty disappointing from here as well. But for you to just be saying you hope you qualify for the Champions League, it kind of speaks to...
I know. Well, Klopp said that after the Manchester United game, whereas I still had somewhat a bit of hope. But now I think we should easily qualify. If we don't qualify for top 4, very poor season.
Oh, it'll be catastrophic season for.
It's been pretty bad so far. I just think that Liverpool just should, almost by merit, be finishing ahead of, like Leicester, Everton, West Ham, Southampton.
You said that, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a little bit harsh on Leicester. I don't think anyone's got the right to finish above them. Like, apart from last season where they buried every chance they had of getting Champions League football. From January onwards, they were absolutely catastrophic.
How many points clear were they of ye was it going into the lockdown, I think?
On New Year's Day, we lost to Arsenal and they won. This is last year. And that put them 14 points clear of us. And then we ended up, and they were third, and I think we were 7th or 6th or something. And then we ended up coming third. And Chelsea ended up coming 4th, and Leicester came 5th on the last day of the season when we beat them. Jesse Lingard scoring.
Yes.
Our last league goal of last season. Who's been revitalised at West Ham. We praised them last week on the podcast, but they were shocking against us. They were really poor.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Premier League table again, and Leicester are actually 3 points ahead of us.
Yeah, that's why I first thought you were being a little bit harsh on them. They're having a
I,
really, really good, consistent season.
I still can't see a world in which we don't finish above them, though. That's the thing. I don't want to sound like a cocky Liverpool fan, but this team is more than good enough to finish above Leicester City.
Well, you, you're saying that you'll be above them if you beat them this weekend. If they beat
Yeah.
you, they'll be 6 points clear of you.
Oh my God, imagine that. Oh, they could go above ye if they win, and if you were to lose, oh, this is
Oh,
getting a bit sad, Nathan. Can we talk about?
yeah, we got West Brom this weekend, and I expect nothing less than sweeping them aside. But I mean,
Tough game.
next week. Well, let's not go into next week. Next
Chris
hour,
on
let's
the phone.
talk. Let's talk Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, we play West Brom, but you've bought some Valentines for us to the podcast.
I have. I've got a Valentine's Day special. So Nathan, what we're going to do, I'm going to ask you. Well, I'm going to name you some footballers, and you're going to put them into one of three tiers. So your three tiers are the Wagner Donald Love tier, which is top tier, which is you love these footballers. Number two, I've gone for Streets Won't Forget, which is you only liked the player in a certain period. They're at a certain club. And then your third tier, you've got Get in the Bin, which means take your chocolates and your flowers and shove them. Can't be dealing with that. So for Streets Won't Forget, for anyone who isn't aware, something like what JJ Okocha at Bolton is a typical
Yeah,
Streets
like a
Won't Forget player.
JJ Okocha at Bolton, or the entirety of that Southampton side that then got ripped apart by everyone in the following summer.
Not naming any names.
Yeah, yeah. When he had like Lallana and Mane.
Lambert, Lovren, Van Dijk.
What a load of players.
Right.
Luke Shaw.
Yeah, Callum Chambers. Anyways,
He says quietly.
I really lowered the tier there. I'm sorry.
Oh God, his career. Yeah, let's leave Callum Chambers alone.
We'll go into the Valentine's Day special.
All right,
So-
let's do this.
I think I've got about 10. I'll just try and rattle through them quickly enough, so we won't be on it all day. Nathan, your first player, Cesc Fabregas.
Oh, I love Cesc Fabregas.
Do you love his entire career, or do you only love a certain portion of his career?
Oh, I mean, he was the guy who threw pizza at Ferguson.
And he never achieved anything else.
Yeah. But I do, as a footballer, he was outstanding. And when Moyes came in, he was the top of his shopping list, apparently. He was just leaving Barcelona at the time. And,
Which is why you signed Varela, a right back from the Real Madrid reserves, and Maro and Fellaini.
I don't think we signed sorry guys, my dog is trying to make a cameo. And but
How much does he? How much does he cost?
I think he's telling me his favourite Cesc Fabregas memory. Winning the World Cup, apparently. I'm going to put him in. I don't think the streets are ever going to forget Cesc Fabregas, but he did throw pizza at Fergie, so I can't love him.
Ooh,
So
It's
streets
up to
won't
you.
forget.
you're gone for Streets Won't Forget for Cesc Fabregas. Okay, your second player. I think this one will kind of give you another indication of what Streets Won't Forget essentially means. It's two players, it's not just one. It's Demba Ba and Papi Cisse.
Oh, what a formidable front two they were for Newcastle.
The good old days.
I'm gonna go streets won't forget.
Yeah, I think they're a proper definition of what Streets Don't Won't Forget was essentially
I'm
great.
surprised you can even say Demba Ba's name.
Demba Ba. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was some like Irish joke that I was not picking up on.
Oh no, it wasn't racist. It was just PTSD.
Well,
It's
we're
making
both
fun of
sufferers.
your trauma.
We're both sufferers. We'll leave it
Yeah,
at that.
we are.
Istanbul Besiktas, as Nathan always refers to them as. Okay, your next player. I think this one's a given. Ronaldinho.
I'm gonna say I love Ronaldinho. I don't love him as much as everyone else loves him.
Ooh.
Because of I just feel like he had some incredible moments, but I feel like he left a lot of talent on the table because he loved to party.
The original
and
Neymar, some might call him.
Yeah, and his career was kind of by the time he was 29, Ronaldinho was kind of done.
Yeah.
Like with being a legit footballer, and now ending up in prison in Paraguay.
Forgot about
And
that.
just
Yeah,
kind of letting it all kind of get becoming a bit of a showman. But I do love him. And Ferguson apparently wanted him at one point, but I don't think Ronaldinho had the steel to come and play in English football because it's a bit, especially back then, it was more kind of hard tackling sort of thing. I don't think he would have fit in very well, to be honest. But
proper.
I do love Ronaldinho.
Yeah, I'm starting to look at this list of players, and I thought you would have put Fabregas and Ronaldinho in the top tier. I have a feeling we're going to be very heavy in the second tier.
Yeah.
The next one, this could be a controversial one for you, Nathan. I was looking through proper Marmite footballers.
Oh, is it Lee Catamont?
It's not, no. Unfortunately, Lee has not made an appearance this show. Your next one is James McLean.
James McLean. Derry's own James McLean.
Yeah.
He is a bit Marmite, and he's Marmite for more political reasons.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm based on just footballing ability and kind of how he comes across.
Ooh.
I'm probably gonna put him in the bin.
Ooh, James will be
nothing to do with his opinions, which he's perfectly entitled to have, and I don't see any issue with them, whereas other people do. Just based on the fact he always looks like he's not enjoying himself.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. For me, an Irish man, he's the sort of player you really want playing for your team. He definitely, whenever he played for Ireland, you could tell he cared, and every kick of the ball meant everything to him. I remember the goal he scored against away in Wales, which ended up meaning absolutely nothing because we don't qualify for World Cups. But it was a good moment. Okay, Nathan, your next player is Clint Dempsey.
Clint Dempsey?
Famous rapper.
Famous rapper.
Yeah.
Clint Dempsey. Great player, but I'm going to put him in the bin.
Ooh.
I just don't really care about Clint Dempsey.
That's fair enough. Do you know, it's mad that in an alternative universe, Clint Dempsey is a Premier League and Champions League winning captain.
How so?
For anyone who doesn't get that, okay, you don't even get that reference. He was, at the time, in the summer of 2012, Brendan Rodgers had accepted selling Jordan Henderson to Fulham in exchange for Clint Dempsey.
I do remember this.
So Jordan Henderson went to his room and cried and just refused to leave. Which is a very, very captain-esque move. Okay.
What was dropping child?
To be fair, he was probably only about 12 at the time. Okay, Nathan, your next player, Didier Drogba.
Didier Drogba. A nightmare to play against in any final.
You were a centre-back, were you?
Not the most consistent of strikers.
That is one thing people do forget, yeah.
He didn't score that many goals compared to how many you think Didier Drogba scored.
He just had like 2 or 3 amazing seasons that everyone remembers.
But he did score in the Champions League final, which meant that Bayern didn't win it, which is hilarious. Coming back to Chelsea, though, yeah, that was probably a bit of a mistake.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say I love Didier Drogba.
We've finally got one in the Donald Wagner love tier. It's incredible.
I put Ronaldinho in there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you put him in Streets Won't Forget. Apologies.
No, I put him in. I do love Ronaldinho.
Yeah, obviously Ronaldinho's always like the reason a lot of people claim they got into football. For me, I was a bit after that generation. I was a bit young to sort of watch La Liga back then. Okay, you're
growing up in Ireland. You weren't a big Athletic Bilbao fan.
Oh, I loved. Anyway, I don't know what I was going to say there. Your next player is Francesco Totti.
Francesco Totti, what a player Francesco Totti is. I didn't watch a lot of him, though, obviously, for obvious reasons, is that there wasn't a lot of Serie A on.
Sounds like an excuse.
One club, man. You gotta appreciate that. You gotta love that. I'm gonna say I love Francesco Totti.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I would also be there for me. Okay, your next player, Tim Cahill.
Tim Cahill. So you got a real grab bag of people here.
Yeah, do you know what I did actually? I have loads of posters in my room, and I mostly just picked the players off the posters.
You have a Tim Cahill poster in your room.
Yeah, he's the only Everton player I have up on my wall, and there's no Manchester United players. You'll be glad to hear.
It's real random. Now, Tim Cahill, phenomenal player for Everton, did great things. You've said before he's the one Everton player you would want to play for Liverpool.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna put him in Streets. Won't forget
For his Everton phase.
For his Everton phase.
And Australia.
But what brings him
like
down though is he did move to Millwall at one point. I don't like Millwall.
We've been over this before now. They don't exist. We'll move. Let's move on.
Exactly.
Another really random one I've gone for. I think I know where this one's going to go. Yannick Bolasie.
Yannick Bolasie?
I just always think of him playing for Crystal Palace.
Is he still at Everton?
That's a good question. He could be another one of the...
I won't say worst now.
I won't say worst signings because he did get badly injured, but when it comes to money paid and what he did for the club, absolutely nothing.
They must have signed him to like a 5-year deal because he joined in 2016.
Yeah, he was a Koeman sign.
Ronald Koeman, you can find on the sidelines at Barcelona now.
It'll be on Cameo soon, I imagine.
I'm gonna put Yannick Bolasie in the bin.
Ooh, Nathan's not a Yannick Bolasie fan.
No.
Someone like Yannick Bolasie I really like. He was just really skillful, and he used to do the Bolasie flick. I think is what people used to call it. I used to just do it for hours in the garden. Okay, I'll rattle it down to the last couple. Your next one, Kaka.
Oh, I have nightmares about Kaka. If anyone remembers the Champions League match between AC Milan and Manchester United.
I was hoping they were football-related nightmares.
Yeah.
Him dressed as a dentist.
And despite that, I'm gonna say I love Kaka. I'm gonna put him in the Wagner love pile. Phenomenal player. Again, same as Ronaldinho, a little bit the point I made. I don't think he perhaps played as long as people were hoping for. Although he did play for a surprisingly long time. He only retired not long ago.
Yeah, he went back to AC Milan, didn't he?
For a season, then he went off to the MLS. But he was great. He didn't have the best time at Real Madrid for Jose-related reasons, and but an unbelievable player. And I would have loved to have seen him put on a United shirt.
I just always think of the assist he gets in the 2005 Champions League final, where he just skins Steven Gerrard on the turn as the ball's coming towards him, and the pass is absolutely inch perfect. Where Jamie Carragher does one of those, those stretches where you know you're not getting to it, but you're really close to it, and then Crespo hits it. Hernan Crespo, one touch, chips it over Jersey Dudek. It's probably one of my favourite against Liverpool goals ever. Okay, your final two players, Nathan. Again, I've gone for another Marmite footballer. Just get your opinion on him. It's Joseph Barton.
Joey Barton, recently sacked from Fleetwood Town.
What a career he's had.
Yeah, he also beat up. Didn't he fight a reporter or something at one point? At Fleetwood Town.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. Obviously, he turned French for a season.
He did. He went to loan to Marseille whilst he was rinsing QPR of their money, along with Kieran Dyer.
Yeah. I'm going to look through that QPR team because there's so many players in it that I always forget about. Jermaine Genius was part of that squad of players as well.
Yeah, Chris Samba. Do you remember Chris Samba?
Yes, yeah.
Absolute tank of a centre half.
Went to Anzi, whatever their surname is. I'm not gonna try.
No one. I don't like Joey Barton.
Yeah,
I'm putting him in the bin. Myself. I don't think he was that great a player. I don't think he comes across as being a great leader, despite being a captain in a lot of places. I think it's one of the things where just because you shout the loudest doesn't mean you're the best.
Yeah, and just because you're aggressive doesn't mean you're a good midfielder.
Yeah, he tried to play... if you took all the footballing ability away from Roy Keane...
Where's this going?
That's what that... That's Joey Barton.
That's a good point.
He's just a bit. No, I'm not saying no, because that's not fair. 'Cause Roy Keane does seem like he might actually be an all right guy, but Joey Barton just seems like a bit of a thug. Also, and here's the thing: he originally went to Everton's academy, then went to Liverpool's academy, and then ended up at Man City's academy. He plays all sides. There's no loyalty in that boy.
No, I always remember as well, he got sent off playing for Newcastle because he got wound up by the Liverpool fans in Anfield, and he just slices Xabi Alonso in the corner for no reason when Newcastle are on the verge of being relegated.
Yeah.
And Alan Shearer loves telling that story.
You wouldn't want him in your side because he doesn't add anything except for a definite yellow card every match.
So he's very much the Thiago of the mid-2000s.
Oh, poor Thiago. You're not a fan of Thiago.
I do like Thiago. I do. I want to see him with the right midfield. I want to see him in our best midfield, and then I reckon he'll be a brilliant footballer. Well, he already is. It's not like he has to prove anything.
Wasn't Joey Barton? Remember when he went to? He was at Burnley, and then he went to Rangers, but he couldn't hack it up playing for Scotland.
Yeah.
So he went back to Burnley. Like, who were in the Premier League at this point.
Yeah, that's very weird. Joey Barton's had a very strange career. He's been around for ages. He's another one who feels like he's always been around. I won't be surprised if he was still playing somewhere.
Probably five-a-side. When he's allowed.
UFC.
Yeah.
So, Nathan, your final Valentine's Day special player is one who's very close to my heart, Robbie Keane.
Robbie Keane.
I'm very interested. I imagine you do not care in the slightest about Robbie Keane, or you loved him during his time at Tottenham. It's one of the two.
I mean, he always seemed like he was a good player. He always scored goals, like in the same way.
Until he went to Liverpool, that is.
Until he went to Liverpool and then scored no goals. But I mean, he always seemed like he was a decent striker, I guess.
Yeah, I think. Was it like 07, 08? Him and Berbatov, they were like two of the front runners in the Golden Boot. Neither of them won it, but they were pretty good.
Yeah, he seemed fairly consistent until like his late career, which is the same way with most
footballers.
Yeah, most football. Well, yeah, everyone that's not Zlatan, pretty much.
True. But, or Cristiano.
I would probably just put him in the bin though.
Ooh, that's heartbreaking. On Valentine's Day, especially.
All right, I'll put him in Streets Won't Forget. I mean, I don't know what street is going to remember him. Maybe you guys Tottenham Hotspur Way or something like that might remember him, or LA Galaxy
Avenue.
Yeah. But okay, he can go in Streets Won't Forget because he played with Berbatov. But he's there mostly for Berbatov.
Well, I just quickly run through all the players you've done. So in the Donald Wagner love section, you put Didier Drogba, Ronaldinho, Francesco Totti, and Kaká. In Streets Won't Forget, you put Demba Ba and Papi Cisse, Cesc Fabregas, Tim Cahill, Robbie Keane, and get in the bin, you put James McLean, Clint Dempsey, Yannick Bolasie, and Joey Barton. What a very random selection of players I chose today.
Absolutely no footballing ability in that bin.
Other passion merchants and skill merchants.
Oh. I mean, where would you put? Let's end it on a high one. I've got one for you. Where would you put Peter Crouch?
It has to be Wagner Donald Love.
You've got to love Peter
Crouch.
Crouch.
Keep saying it the wrong way around. Donald Wagner Love.
Well, Peter Crouch takes us into my little segment of Guess Who's Missing from the Liverpool lineup.
Oh, yeah.
So you've already got one. Without me even reading the side out. I'm taking you to Wednesday, the 8th of March, 2006. And this is because the Champions League is back next week and the Europa League, more importantly.
I already know what this match is.
It is Liverpool.
I feel I know why you picked it, yeah. Go on.
Liverpool 0, Benfica 2.
Yep. Champions of Europe crashing out to Benfica.
In goal, you had Pepe Reina. And then you had what looks like a back four of Finnan, Carragher, Traore, and Blank. Luis Garcia, Gerrard, Blank, and Blank were in midfield. And then up top, I think this is right. Otherwise, I might have got the formation wrong a little bit. You had Morientes and Peter Crouch.
Okay. Can you read out the midfield for me again, please?
So you had Luis Garcia, Gerrard, blank, and blank. And then up top, Morientes and Crouch.
Okay.
Might have this formation might be a little bit wrong. It looks wrong to me, but this is how the BBC have presented it.
Can I just ask for the defender as well? You said Traore. Traore was predominantly a left back. So is it another left back or is it a centre back? Can I at least have that, please?
Oh, I don't remember them very well at all, but I think they might have just got this the wrong way around, and it's a centre back. I'll tell you. This might tell you. Didi Hamann came on to replace this person. Does that help?
Oh God! Why was he replacing a defender? Okay. Well, I'll go straight to the midfield. I feel this one could be a tough one, because I've got a few names here. So I remember in one of the games, I don't remember which one it was, but Momo Sissoko gets an eye injury that was supposed to finish his career. In reality, he was back a week later. So I'm gonna go with Momo Sissoko.
Not even in the side.
Okay, so it was the first leg he got injured in. So okay, that's not a good start. Okay, my other safe bet, I hope, is Xabi Alonso, because you didn't name him.
Xabi Alonso is there.
Okay. Oh, God. I'm panicking again. John Honorisa is in that, surely.
Nope, not in the side.
Are you serious? Wasn't that left back or left midfield? God. Well, now I'm just firing aimlessly. Is it Harry Kewell?
It is Harry Kewell.
Okay, and the defender, it's between two. I think it's either, because you said something about you can't remember exactly where he played, or you said something like that. So I don't think it's going to be Sami Hyypiä. So
no, he was an unused sub.
Jeez,
Was
okay.
Sami Hyypiä.
But then who were centre backs that season? Carragher, Hyypiä. I remember Agger comes in halfway, but would he have been cup tied with Brondby? I'm just gonna stab in the dark. I'm gonna go with Stephen Warnock.
Oh, he's finally weeks and weeks and weeks. You've been getting one wrong.
Yes,
I
got loads.
Right in there.
I got loads wrong.
Stephen Warnock, if you'd asked me before this podcast, did Stephen Warnock ever play for Liverpool? I would have said, I don't know.
In that exact tone.
Yeah, in that exact tone. I have no idea. But there he is starting against Benfica.
Yes. Why was Jimmy Traore playing at centre back? That's a strange one.
I couldn't really work it out because this is obviously I have to go onto an old version, a 2006's version of the BBC football website. Get these formations, and they sometimes are a bit wild with them because I think they just guess before the match starts.
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure, but it is written as Finn and Carragher, Traore, and Warnock as the back four.
Jamie Traore at centre back, maybe. I suppose he was tall enough.
Well, you had Hyypiä is on the bench, but he wasn't used. Fowler, Didi Hamann, and Cisse came on.
So the game was going well, is what you're saying.
The game was going well, but yeah, Liverpool 0, Benfica 2. The Benfica team, for anyone that's interested, and I'm going to apologise for the pronunciations immediately. Moreto, Alcides, Lucio, Anderson, Leo, back four. Robert, Beto, Manuel, and Giovanni were the midfield.
De Santos, just Giovanni.
Just Giovanni.
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
Simeo and Nuno Gomez were up top. They did have a sub that was not used called Quim. Well, that might make some people laugh.
You are such a child.
That's what it says. There's subs not used Quim.
Do you know Koeman was the manager of that team as well?
Oh, it doesn't say that here, but there you go.
And then,
Ronald Koeman is haunting us today.
Him at Benfica just doesn't seem right to me. Well, on the line of quizzes, Nate, what's your favourite quiz that I do?
Oh, it's got to be Sockbusters.
And it's the welcome return. It hasn't been gone, but we're doing it again. We're reeling it out. Okay, this week's edition, Spurs edition.
Oh, good.
Your first clue, a natural disaster, and it's not this quiz.
Is it M.
That's the quiz. No, and the initials are HK.
Oh, is it Hurricane?
It's Hurricane. Your second one is a shop that sells cooked meats is now in the German supermarket chain. Initials DA. You know it?
So annoying. I do know it. It's just really annoying.
And the third one, this one's a stretch. I tried to make it all current players. Okay, the third one. If you move close to the ground, Williams, the young centre back at Liverpool.
What?
If you move close to the ground, comma, Williams, the young centre back at Liverpool. It's a tough one. That third one is very tough.
What are the initials?
Sorry, I forgot the initials. HL.
Oh. Okay.
If that reaction doesn't tell you everything you need to know.
Oh, is it Harry Kane, Dele Alli, and Hugo Lloris?
It is. So the natural disaster being Harry Kane, a shop that sells cooked meats is a deli, and the German supermarket chain Aldi, Dele Alli. And if you move close to the ground, Williams, the young centre back of Liverpool, that's Hugo Lloris.
You can't think of anything better to get the Lloris in there.
It was tough. It was tough. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like you decided you wanted Hugo Lloris in there and then just jammed it in.
What would give you that impression? This segment, it requires research, time, effort. So much goes into this.
Oh, well, we were just talking about the Champions League in 2006, but let's talk about the Champions League in 2021.
Smart idea.
There's no United there, so obviously this competition is void, but we have to talk about it anyway. And we might as well start with Liverpool. You're playing RB Leipzig, one of the best sides to ever grace the planet. So they're hard to beat, hard to break down. We didn't beat them 5-0 earlier in the season.
No,
didn't happen. But obviously with your injury problems, are you confident going into this Champions League?
Well, we played, this is again nothing really to do with it, but we played Salzburg last season and they gave us one really good game at Anfield, and Leipzig is kind of the level up from Salzburg, isn't it? So the competition's getting better and
by the same people.
We're getting worse.
Yeah.
So should be fun.
So let's not all forget RB Leipzig and Salzburg, because you're not allowed to have kind of corporations' names in your club. They're obviously not owned by Red Bull, but rather something called Rasenballsport. The Red Bulls in both their logos are just a coincidence, and them playing at the Red Bull Arena is also a coincidence.
I didn't know that. Say that again. What's the RB?
The RB, obviously everyone knows they're owned by Red Bull, but they're not allowed to be called Red Bull Leipzig, so they're called Rasenballsport. I
never knew that.
Yeah.
Isn't that fascinating?
Then they have Red Bulls in their logo and play at the Red Bull Arena, and they're called the Red Bulls.
I love that. It's like
hilarious, right? 99% owned by Red Bull. Don't know who owns the other 1%. I couldn't find it.
Rasen Sport, whatever you call
probably
them.
Rasenballsport, which is a shell company, probably.
Obviously, just not going along with is it the 51-50 rule in German football?
Yeah, it is. That's a bit of a complicated one. I don't really know enough about it to kind of speak
Yeah,
too much about it. We'd need
it's
to get probably Rahul back on to
or not.
explain it in more detail or not. Yeah.
It's essentially where fans have to own a certain percentage of the club. That's the way it works in German football. But I think there's some loophole that you're able to get around. You know, allegedly.
I'm
Just
not
to be
sure.
safe.
Yeah, it's all a bit shady because we just said Red Bull do on paper own 99% of Leipzig. So presumably that means the fans own 1%. So I don't know whether it's an actual rule or if it's like a
Unwritten.
guideline, if it's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
But we get into Leipzig a little bit. They are second in the Bundesliga at the minute. There have been opportunities for them to kind of compete more with Bayern, but they lost to Dortmund recently. They've had a few injuries themselves, but nowhere near as bad as you guys. The loss of Timo Werner, whilst not benefiting Chelsea in any way, has kind of hurt them. But they are going to play one way, which is they're going to come at you.
Yeah.
Which might play into your hands.
Hopefully. That's all I can say at this point. I go into every game expecting to win, and then we just get outplayed. We don't really create anything. But based on the game that I saw at the Red Bull Arena against Manchester United, they should be a very good team, but vulnerable at the back. And that's as far as my scouting report has gone.
Yeah, they got Upamecano, who's kind of everyone's cup of tea at the minute. But he's been having kind of a mixed season, especially in the 5-0 win for us in the first leg. He was catastrophic at times. He looked completely lost, but it's been Kanate, who sits next to him, that now everyone's kind of gone, wait, maybe he's the good one.
Yeah, apparently all the links for Upamecano coming to Liverpool was just a ruse to get Konate at the club, which, you know, genius if it works, but it didn't work. So
yeah, absolute genius.
Who's the idiot now?
yeah, but they are going to give you a good game. But I feel like on paper you should still go through quite comfortably, especially since neither leg is going to be played in Germany.
Yes,
so they don't really get a home leg.
Obviously, yeah, it's being played in Budapest in Hungary, which I love how it's just the game has suddenly gone further. It's not come any closer to home. It's gone further away. And there's actually talks that the second leg also has to be played at a neutral ground, which will probably end up just being that gaff again. Because it's, according to UEFA, the pressure is on the home team to find a suitable venue for the game. UEFA have absolutely nothing to do with it. And if the home team provides a suitable venue that the away team doesn't want to play, that gives the home team an automatic 3-0 win. So that could be our best bet of going through, and I wouldn't be against it. You know, all's fair in love and the Champions League.
It's strange how UEFA just... We've never really spoke about it on the podcast before, but UEFA they're weird. It's like this evil organisation. They're like, oh, well, it's nothing to do with us. It's like, it's your fucking competition that you're forcing everyone to play during a global pandemic.
And they always go, oh, well, ours is FIFA. You know, it's a mix of the two. If you break away and create your own league, you're not going to be allowed to play in the Champions League. That's fine. I don't think at this rate anyone wants to.
Yeah.
It's just a hindrance, if anything.
It is, especially in a minute. It's not really what this podcast is about, but it shouldn't be going ahead, the Champions League. I think everyone knows that. International shouldn't be happening at the minute. Europa League shouldn't be happening at the minute.
Or if it's, for whatever reason, absolutely essential that it's well, not essential, because it isn't essential, but if it has to be done, I guess, why isn't it a one-legged playoff like it was towards the end of last season, wasn't it? They did the competition at the end of the domestic seasons, so everyone was sort of in quarantine together, weren't they?
Yeah, I feel like they should just, if you are going to force people to play it, you're right. It should be this round, the round of 16 should be one leg at a neutral venue. And then the quarterfinals onwards should just be played across like 2 weeks in a country that's happy to host it at the end of the season again. But then you got the Euros. Euro 2020, because they refused to change the name of it. But, oh well, but let's hope Liverpool lose. Uh,
Cheers.
Other interesting ties, you've got the disaster that is Barcelona against PSG.
The
Uh,
non-Neymar derby.
yeah, the non-Neymar derby because his sister's birthday.
Which is perfectly above board, yeah. That's the only reason.
Uh, I don't know if we need to get into how weird their relationship is.
No, I think we'll leave that alone. But just for the listeners at home, I think this is the fifth season in a row that Neymar has been injured or suspended around this time period, and it just so happens to be the same date as his sister's birthday.
Yeah,
Which seems a bit too convenient. It's like if someone was always injured around Boxing Day and they always missed the festive Christmas period just so they could stay at home with the family.
it's weird and creepy. He clearly doesn't care. This is why Neymar isn't going to be remembered in the way that his ability says that he should.
Yeah.
It's reasons like this because he doesn't play very often. He's only just crossed 100 games for PSG.
I mean, you think about the money that was spent on him.
200 million quid.
Yeah.
He's got them. Yeah, he got them to one Champions League final last season. But it's not good enough already. But Barcelona aren't anywhere near it. So PSG, they have to win this surely, unless Messi does something remarkable.
Just it feels like PSG feel like a team who just have to win a Champions League trophy at some point.
Yeah, and we'll get onto the other team that have to win a Champions League at some point momentarily. But other ties, Sevilla against Dortmund, I think that's going to be a great game for any fans of kind of European football outside the UK. That's going to be one to watch. Porto against Juventus. You got anything interesting to say about that?
Oh, so much.
Oh, okay. We'll save it. Interesting tie time, though, now that Chelsea kind of look slightly more useful as a side. Is Atletico Madrid, the runaway La Liga leaders at the minute, against Chelsea?
That'll be interesting, I think, to see how well Tuchel can get Chelsea in general in the Champions League.
Yeah, they went through in the FA Cup against a very, very spirited Barnsley side yesterday, thanks to an incredible goal line clearance from, I can't remember who from. But Atletico Madrid, they don't concede a lot of goals, as we all know. They've also been attacking very well, thanks to your old friend Luis Suarez. But I mean, most recently we've been saying Atletico Madrid have only conceded 5 goals in the league. They're still only on 12 from 20 games played.
Did they concede 7 in one game? What happened there?
I don't actually know. Actually, let's find out. Let's find out. Oh, they've been conceding quite a few. They conceded 2. They conceded 4 in their last 2 games. Oof, maybe it's all gone wrong.
That's a leaky defense.
If I've ever seen one. It is going to be interesting to see how Tuchel gets him playing. Timo Werner still doesn't really look like he's coming to life anytime soon.
Yeah, what you said.
And Havertz is out injured at the minute. So it's all kind of fallen onto the guy where everyone went, oh, why is he in the side? It's just because Frank loves him, but it turns out Mason Mount is actually really good at football.
Yeah, he's just a nice lad as well as a really good footballer.
Yeah.
Which is all you need.
The defending champions, Bayern, play Lazio. The best club in the world, Bayern Munich. How do you feel about that? It's gone.
Yeah. I was a bit sad, I'm not gonna lie. So now I can no longer say, whenever anyone questions anything bad at Liverpool, we're the best team in the world. I don't know what you're talking about. We bet Flamengo in a tournament last December. What do you mean?
Bayern beat Tigres.
Do you remember what was your man's? Was it Andre Pierre Gignac? I think.
Yeah.
He used to play for Tigres, whatever it is.
He's still there. He was up
Is
top.
he? Oh,
yeah,
right, well, there
he's
you
their
go.
all-time. I watched the match yesterday, the final, and he's their all-time record goal scorer. He nearly scored a header in about 45 seconds into the match.
Right.
And that's as good as it got for Tigers.
I'd love to know what his wage was going there. Sure, it must have been something ridiculous because he wasn't like an amazing striker, but he was a decent
Playing in France, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Can't remember who for.
Couldn't tell
Marseille
you.
rings a bell.
Sounds about right. But I remember he used to be nicknamed Andre Pierre Big Mac because he was a rather rotund individual.
No, he looked lively against Bayern. He was running all over the place, but they couldn't really create anything because Bayern are good
Yeah,
and Tigers aren't.
yeah. Marseille, he was at for 5 seasons before Tigers. Yeah.
Speaking of not very good, Real Madrid are facing Atalanta. Uh, could be good. Atlanta, as you will know, have incredible energy, attack in waves, and Real Madrid are, I think their combined age is about 1,000 now.
I thought that'd be average, but yeah, that sounds about right. Combined, certainly.
Eden Hazard injured again.
There's a shocker. Has he
Yeah,
played a game since he joined Real Madrid?
I think he scored once or something and he's only played a few. But he had hardly any injuries. He played 30 plus games every season from when he broke into the Lille squad.
Yeah,
And then for Chelsea, he'd always played 30 plus. Goes to Real Madrid, can't get going at all.
yeah. It was a weird time when they signed him, wasn't it? I think he was 29 going on 30 at the time, and they were paying 100 million for him. It was obvious it wasn't going to go that well, especially because he was replacing Ronaldo at the time. But I think again, it's gone worse than anyone could have predicted.
It has, and I actually fancy Atlanta to win that tie. Real
Wouldn't
Madrid
be a
haven't.
bad bet. Yeah,
Yeah, Real Madrid haven't been great. They're nowhere near Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid still have 2 games in hand, and they're 10 points clear at the top of La Liga, which is just crazy. But another club that's got a game in hand and is top of the league is Man City. They go to play Mönchengladbach because, of course, they drew
what a tough
Mönchengladbach.
draw that is for a team who was in pot two going into it. They've got a very tough draw so far.
Yeah, Mönchengladbach, they're not a bad side. They have beaten Bayern twice this season in Bundesliga.
Well, that's
They
pretty
are a
good.
blemish on Bayern's record, but there's no consistency there
Yeah,
at all. I'm not sure where they are in the Bundesliga. I will endeavour to find out quickly. But you got to expect Man City. I said this to you in our kind of in private chat, which sounds ruder than it is. That if Man City don't win the Champions League this season and then do next season because they sign Messi, Pep kind of ends up looking worse.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, if he wins it at City, fair enough. I don't think that's much of an achievement. I think that's exactly what he was brought in to do. And I think not winning it at Anthem is just failure. That's all it can be seen as. And yeah, he did dominate the league for 2 seasons and domestically in general. But the thing is, he was brought in to win the Champions League. Same with PSG. Anything but the Champions League isn't success, really.
Yeah, and Mönchengladbach is 7th in the Bundesliga. So, I mean, that kind of says where they're at in terms of anything. They're kind of like a mid-table side that Man City should brush aside, really. But who knows? Man City in the Champions League is an enigma. The thing against Lyon last season was
Hilarious.
it was hilarious, and at the same, it was just a tactical cock up. There's no really polite way to
Yeah.
put it. Sticking the probably the best complete midfielder in the world in Kevin De Bruyne on his day, that is, then sticking him out on the right for just for a laugh. Like there was no logical reason to it.
Why not?
At all. Yeah,
And when you look at the teams that have knocked City out of the Champions League since Pep joined, so it was Monaco the first season, which it was a very good Monaco team to be fair, and it did end up getting dismantled. Second season was the Liverpool team that didn't go on to win it. It's the one that lost to Real Madrid in the final, and City finished about 100 points ahead of in the league. After that, it was Tottenham Hotspur, who just bad, very bad to be knocked out by Tottenham Hotspur, wasn't it? Fernando Llorente scored the
Yeah.
goal that sent them out with his arse or something. And then last season, obviously, Leon. Pep has to get it done at some point.
he has to, and it is kind of this season in particular because Real Madrid and Barcelona are so weak. Like the Juventus side, they're not having the greatest league campaign, but I mean, still Cristiano Ronaldo in there, and they're still a side littered with talent. So you could argue them. Bayern are incredibly consistent, so they should be there or thereabouts. And then the other competition, kind of Chelsea, massively in transition, Atletico Madrid. It's not the worst bet in the world, but they did get dismantled by Bayern in the group stages. Liverpool, if you had everyone fit on paper, you'd say should be going on to the semi-final or the final again, but you're littered with injuries as well.
Yeah. I'm glad you said it, Nathan, because I wasn't even going to mention
it. Yeah, like Man City and PSG, this is a great opportunity because with Bayern as well, for those that don't watch the Bundesliga, going forward, obviously Lewandowski, Gnabry, Sané, everyone under the sun that you'd need to be winning football matches. But at the back, they have been exposed more than once. So this is a real chance for them. And if Pep doesn't do it, like PSG, I feel like Pochettino gets a bit of a free ride this season.
Yeah, I think that is fair. He did come in late into the season, didn't he?
But surely Man City, anything. He's not even reached a semi-final. Like, no. At least beat Moyes.
Even Pellegrini got to a semi-final.
Yeah, he did.
With City, yeah. Season before Pep came in, I think.
Yeah, and then there was all those rumours about his job the entire time, despite him doing a really good job.
Yeah.
But I mean, Pellegrini then went to West Ham and didn't have the greatest time, and now David Moyes is doing wonders. So,
but he did sign Kevin De Bruyne, which is one thing that Pep did not do.
Yeah, well, Pep just inherits squads. He signs Cancelo and turns him into a central midfielder. He's actually doing really well, but still, it's funny on paper.
And he was only a 60 million footballer. Yeah.
He signed Gabriel Jesus. Was that
Pep? Yes. Signed him in the January. I think it was the January 2017 for some reason.
So has he not signed a striker since Gabriel Jesus? Oh, I don't think he has.
It's a good question, actually. Yeah.
I've never really thought about it like that lack of strikers coming in.
Because he sold Kelechi Iheanacho, who I think is still Man City's like record sale, which is weird to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to make a joke about Iheanacho, but he scored the winner in the FA Cup a couple of days ago, so it'd be really poorly timed.
I'm so scared.
I was just going to call him shite.
Oh, okay, right. Very witty, sir.
He does it well. We looked up the other day. He's in his fourth season at Leicester, and he's only scored 25 goals.
To be honest, the fact that he scored 25 is amazing because I would have thought it was 4. I don't think I've seen him play. I don't think he ever plays against Liverpool, I guess. Whenever I watch Leicester play, he just doesn't seem to
unless
play.
Vardy's injured, he doesn't play.
Yeah. The only memory I have of Iheanacho at Leicester was the miss against City in the game where Company scored. He was 1-on-1 and he just spoons it wide, yeah.
Do you want to would you like to be made to feel super old?
Yeah, why not? It's usually you who gets that free.
Do you know Marcus Rashford is now in Man United's top 10 Premier League scorers of all time?
That seems very weird for a club like Manchester United. How many does he have?
I think it's 83 in the league now, which is just above Eric Cantona. I mean, there's a bit of a jump there because next is Beckham, who's on like 100 and something. But Rashford is now 9th.
Yeah, I think Salah recently as well enters the top. I think it's top 10 as well at Liverpool, obviously.
I mean, it does seem weird, but then you remember the Prem is only since 92, isn't it?
Yeah, 92, yeah.
So he's not going to be anywhere near United's actual all-time scorers, but
yeah,
it was a really weird stat because I was like, oh my god, it feels like Rashford's only been playing for about 2 seasons because he's only 23, but then.
2016, wasn't it? Was it like February 2016?
Yeah, he drafted in at the last second against Midtjylland, who seemed to get mentioned a lot on our podcast. I don't know if anyone talks about Midtjylland as much as we do. They seem to get a weekly mention, so shout out to Midtjylland again.
Them and Christian Daly have been said on this podcast way more than they should have.
If Christian Daly ever plays for Midtjylland, comes out of retirement, we'll just break.
Let's get the the power of plus out of time and Project Dits to make that happen.
Someone get in contact with Christian Daly.
Well, he's your mate, isn't he?
I mean, I met him. He's not my friend.
You were eyeing him up in the gym. Something. What was that story? It was something like that.
He used to go to the gym I worked.
Well, Nathan, actually, you worked out Sockbusters pretty easily, and you're looking at me saying, "Does this guy put any effort into the show?" Which it's a very good point, actually. But I took time out of my busy schedule to hunt down a former professional footballer, and I have an exclusive interview.
Oh God! It's gonna be.
I have managed to track down former Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard over Skype, and I've got an exclusive interview. Do you want to hear it?
I'd love to hear it, please.
Okay, I was hoping you'd say no there. Okay. Stephen, it's an absolute honour to have you on the show. How does it feel to be on Plus Out of Time with Darragh and Nathan?
I made a kamikaze mistake.
Much like Alisson in the Man City game of the weekend, LOL. Now, Stevie, it's funny to finally get you here. There was a few phone calls, I won't lie. I wasn't too forceful with my approach though, was I?
It's harassment, I think. It was just loads and loads of phone calls and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I haven't seen someone get into so much trouble using a mobile phone since the news of the world. I imagine it's pretty weird having an absolute nobody get to meet his idol. So, Stephen, how does it feel to be on call with the co-host of your favourite podcast?
Of course, you dream about it all the time.
Oh, Stephen, you charmer. Haven't seen you in a while. Last time I saw you, we were, do you remember that mad night out we had before lockdown? That was a quiet night in at the library. Not.
Still haven't recovered from that.
Oh, yes, lad. I love that. Remember how you ended up with them grass stains? Oh, don't tell the wife.
My mum's watching this, you think?
Of course she does. She's a woman of taste, at least. So, Steve, how's your 2021 been? Have you made any resolutions? I've had to start going on a diet, personally.
This is meant to stay private, but...
Let it all out, lad. It's all going in on the podcast. Don't mind me, I'm just going to turn my back for 1 second.
How fat his ass is, look. That's why he's on a diet, look. Look how fat his ass is.
I'm fuming, man. That was uncalled for, Steve. Anyway, back to my questions. You've no resolution, so is there anything you don't have?
I need socks. Can't find socks in this house. Alex, do you know where my socks are? I've got no socks.
What's with all the whining, Steve, ah? Put a sock in it? Oh wait, you don't have one? Ha, got him good there, buckles. Seriously, Steve, though, with all the money you have and you can't afford a good pair of socks?
I realise that now I have got money, I need to do the right things with it. I don't need to become Flash or become anyone different. So.
You're bang on there, Stephen. Flash is one of my least favourite superheroes anyways. I think you make a better Superman. Hey, Steve, I got a joke for you. How come Jamie Carragher can never be Batman? Because he's always robbing. Did you get it? Robbing. Because he's always nicking stuff. Because he's from Bootle, isn't he?
Of course, but you'd end up saying things that get yourself into trouble. But
cheers, Stephen. Yeah, you do end up saying things that get you into trouble. Or in Kara's case, spraying things that get you into trouble. You know, spitting and that. Much like Arsene Wenger post 2017, I think it's time to move on. Stephen, I believe you know my podcast co-host, Nathan.
He's always there for me if I need him, if I need someone to talk to, if I'm feeling a bit down. He's really close, and as I said to you, I can tell him anything. He'll do anything for me, and vice versa.
Okay. People say he's the glue that keeps the show, well, somewhat together, I guess. Do you think he deserves any credit?
Yeah, of course. Sent him a couple of text messages back in the day, but unfortunately at the time he had no credit. It was disappointing, but I told him to get on them free weekends, and it was alright then, because he was spending, you know, he had 600 minutes, you get 600 minutes or something, don't you, at the weekend.
Stephen, sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off there. I don't think you fully understood. Anyway, what did you tell him when you heard he's got a new podcast coming out?
And all that, I said, well, to be honest with you, mate, I couldn't care less.
You and everyone else. You haven't heard it yet, though, have you? Wait now, I'll send you a clip. Unfortunately, I can't play it live due to copyright. Big-headed. So, just unmute when you've heard it.
That was horrendous! That was bad!
Ridiculous. He really thought he could make another podcast without the comedy and beauty that I bring to the table.
Who decides this?
Alright, Steve, chill, lad. We all make slip-ups. Much like you did in April 2014 against Chelsea. 1-1. Anyway, do you have any thoughts after hearing that sound clip of Nathan's new podcast, That Ain't Sport?
Oh, that's not on the telly.
Well, if nothing else, there's something we can agree on. What must he be thinking?
Yeah, I'm sure he's regretting that now.
Too true, too true. Well, Stephen, it's been a blast. You were a bit unsure at first, but now, tell me really, how does it feel to be on Project Dits' future, award-winning show, plus added time with Darragh and Nathan?
I feel like I've been to see the FA. I feel like a ban or something, you know what I mean? This is what it's like, you know, when you just got a 3-game ban.
Okay, cheers, Stephen. Again, not exactly what I was hoping for there. Well, in a bit, Steve.
In a bit.
So, Nathan, that was me interviewing the one and only Steven Gerrard. What do you have to say about that?
That was pretty remarkable.
Not a huge fan of the podcast, I noticed.
He wasn't a huge fan of the podcast. I think he probably wonders why we're talking about a tyre company so often. But
I have no idea.
He seemed enthusiastic. He seemed like a nice guy. Was he a nice guy?
No, he was horrible. He was an absolute pain to deal with. he didn't understand many of the questions either. God bless him.
He tried his best.
And that's all you can do.
That is all you can do. But yeah, you've got a lot of time on your hands, haven't you?
I don't know what you're talking about. Actually, the last thing I'll do to wrap up is last week's trivia question. I thought, you know, Nathan, last week's was pretty tough. You seem pretty adamant that you've got it. But we had a discussion afterwards, and now we're pretty sure you don't. So I decided to give you next week off, but I will still give you the answer to this week's question. So for anyone who's forgotten it, it was Ollie Lee of Luton Town and Xabi Alonso of Liverpool are the only two players to have done what in English football. Nathan, what did you think it was?
I thought it was score from their own half at what's the place, Kenilworth Road, whatever it was called.
That plays a part in this, but it's not exactly what I was looking for. Do you want the answer?
I do want the answer because this one annoyed me for a couple of days.
The correct answer is that they're the only two players in English football to have scored from a different postcode, because Kenilworth Road has a different postcode at each end of the ground.
God damn it!
It was very tough. I was so happy when I found that.
That was tough, and an interesting fact for everyone. A good stat.
Oh yeah, sorry, I thought that was you about to give me one. No, yeah, it was. Sorry, a bit slow today.
Smooth as silk, aren't we?
Award-winning,
future award-winning podcast. It's nice to say that when you know it's true.
God knows what the award will be, but we'll win something.
Exactly. But guys, enjoy your Valentine's Days. Let us know where you would put all of those players, or just tell us which player you love the most. Actually, let's go nice. I don't want to hear any. I don't want to hear any negativity. Let's hear which player do you love the most? We hope you enjoyed our interview with Steven Gerrard. I don't know if we have to say We probably do need to make it clear that wasn't him. I feel like you've got to do that these days.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But thanks very much for listening, guys. You can find the rest of Project Dits, all the affiliated podcast, and some live streams over at Project Dits. It's Project DITS. You can find me at Nathan Greenaway. As Steven Gerrard pointed out, you can find my new podcast, That Ain't Sport, up. The first episode is already up, so go give it a listen and let me know what you think. That's at That Ain't Sport on Twitter. Darragh, where could people find you, and who are you going to interview next?
I don't know. I'm very spontaneous when I make these decisions. But you can find me on Twitter at Gibbons_Darragh, and you can help me fulfill my dream of reaching 20 followers on Twitter. Currently on 19, so if we get that to 20 by next week's show, I'd be a happy bunny.
All right, well, let's aim to do that for Valentine's Day. Let's get Darragh one more follower.
How romantic.
Thank you very much for listening, guys. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the return of the Champions League and the Europa League, more importantly. We'll speak to you next week. Bye now.
Good luck.